Welcome back to part 2 of the videos showing you how to use the new Service Center for the SE4 registration and planning process. In that first video, we just kind of looked at the overview of how to use the Service Center in general and a couple of key things that you can use it for. The main thing that this is going to be most helpful for is planning. So when you are coming from this home screen, the student planning is what we're going to really spend this second video on. So we're going to look at, you can look at your progress towards a degree and then use that to choose what classes you need to register for and actually add them to a plan here. And you can also plan your degree and register for classes that way. So at your main screen, you see kind of what degree you're working on, your GPA, your progress towards whatever degree, which Mrs. Barr doesn't have one listed, so I'll show you how to add one there. And then your current schedule, which, she's not in winter classes, so there's nothing there. So under the My Progress bar, this is where you're really going to work with your degree and seeing kind of where you fall. So for right now, she does not have a degree listed. Back a long time ago when she did her classes, she did general education. So I want to show you kind of based on the classes she took, where she stands with a different degree. And so we'll look at the science degree first. But I'll also show you that you can also see where you stand with the Michigan Transfer Agreement, which is a good thing to know where you stand. So you would just click any new program and click View Program, and it brings up, it's telling you you're not enrolled in this program, so this is just to kind of show you how it would all work. Ideally, when you log in, you'll come right to whatever program you're supposed to be in, and you'll just see this right on your home screen, basically. So for Ms. Barr, she's got a bunch of requirements done, but she's not completely there. As you can see that there's some empty space here. She does have 69 credits completed, and we have another 16 credits planned for her, and I'll kind of show you what that means in a second. So she has more credits than she needs for the degree, only needing 62 credits, but she's missing some things that are actually requirements. So I'll show you how that works in a second. So really that's where you scroll down here and just kind of start to see what the requirements are. So she's completed 4 of the graduation requirements, which are those required classes like CIS, political science, speech or theater, English 101 and 102. She's done some other courses. She did some history classes. She has some other electives planned there. So we'll scroll back up to see what she hasn't done. So she's got 3 of 4 completed. So this would be, she's missing some science classes, really. So anything that's in red means she's not done and kind of shows you where she stands with it. If it's in yellow, it means that we have it planned for a certain semester, and I'll show you how to do that and access those. And if it's green, it means that she's done, she's finished it. So for 6 credits in social science, 6 in humanities, her math requirement, all of those things are done. So to show the details, you can see what classes she did. So for that, if you really like, you just kind of click on showing the details, brings more and more detail up. But for Mrs. Barr, she did political science and psychology, and you can see your grade and what semester you did that to show that that section is completed. So the main thing that we're looking for, and for those of you that are pretty early on in this, the red will be most of what you're seeing, and it'll give you kind of a whole list of what you can do. So for Mrs. Barr, she needs to take a few more science classes in order to be done. So for this, she's fully planned that she's got at least 1 bio, and she needs at least 1 bio and at least 1 science, and for at least 1 lab within that. So she'll have the at least 1 of each of those, but for right now she's only got 4 credits completed and then another 4 planned. So she's only got 8 credits kind of in progress towards the 18 that she needs. So you can actually use this to just find what classes you want to do. So when we're using that to search, you can look at, okay, so we want to search what classes can she even do for the science. And so this will bring up everything that's being offered and the semesters that it is offered. So for Mrs. Barr, like for the science, it could be biochemistry, geology, anything that's out there on the calendar being offered will show up here. So for when you are using this to search, and let's say, you're looking for a fall 2018 class, you can narrow that down with the other things over here. So you could say, well, I'm looking for a fall science class. I'd be open to biology, and let's see, what else? Does it let you search more than one? Well, I guess it will only narrow it down to one subject at a time. So I'd be open to any biology class. I do have Bio 100 planned at one point, but let me see what's available for Bio 110. So when you click on that, it will show you the times and sections that are available for that class for the fall semester. Anatomy and physiology for healthcare. So you can kind of start to see, okay, so there's a couple sections. One of these is in person. Anytime you see a section that's in the 60s, that means that it's an online class. But otherwise, if it's a regular in-person class, you see that this is offered Tuesday and Thursday, 1 to 3:15. Starts right away, August 20th. It shows you the building and room number and then your instructor. So you could say, you know what, I'm going to take that. And so if you decide that's what you want to do, you can just add that section right to your schedule. So you click on it, see all that detail all over again, and you can click Add Section. And I'll show you where to access that in a minute. So you could search by biology. Later on, you can just say, I just want open sections, which as of right now, the sections are viewable, but registration hasn't opened, so everything technically is not full, would be open. You can search for specifically for online classes or specifically to a campus, like in-person class. You can search by the instructor, by the time of day, where it really just kind of gives you some ranges by the day. So if you knew that you could only do Monday, Wednesday classes, then you could click those so that you're only seeing the sections that are available on Monday and Wednesday. So once you have classes added to your plan, you can go to something called the Plan and Schedule, which I'll show you in a second. But I want to show you another thing under My Progress. So for Mrs. Barr, we looked at the science degree, but I wanted to show you if you were doing kind of a more specific applied degree that has a really specific list of classes. So we'll look at, let's say maybe the business transfer degree. So if we were to look at business transfer, we would see that, again, she's got a lot of credits, but not everything that finishes her degree, actually. So she's still got some things that she needs to complete. And so scrolling down here, you can really see your list of required classes. The stuff that's done is green and completed, and the stuff that's not is red and called not started. And so you can also search right from this My Progress list. So anytime you see a class on here that's listed as not complete, you can just click right on it and it will bring you to the available sections. So when you click View Available Sections, it's going to show you winter, which is current. So you can't register for that stuff now because it's already in progress. And it'll show you the summer that's being offered. It'll show you fall as well. And so you can search that way where you could see all of the semesters. But really, for the most part, you're going to be registering for fall right now, and you just want to see what's out there for fall. So you would click on that, and it would show you there's one section of accounting 211. Or actually, there's several. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening, and probably one online. Yep. So there's a little bit of everything there. And so to add a section to your schedule, you would just click that and hit Add Section. Okay. Another way that you can search is that you could just hit search for courses and say, I want to take Art 101. You can search and it'll bring it right up, and actually it brings up all of the art classes when you do that. So you can see view available sections that way. And again, it's still going to show all of the semesters that are out there, so you probably want to narrow it down to fall. And then this is going to show you every art class that's being offered in the fall. Another way you can search is to just go to the course catalog, and you can browse this way. You could do an advanced search where you could really kind of play around with the times. So sometimes you might find your one class that you know you want to do, and then you know, okay, so the one class I'm doing is from 1 to 2:15, and I want to find a class that's just after that on Monday and Wednesday. So you could leave things pretty open and just say in winter 2018, if I'm looking in just a Monday and Wednesday class, I want it to be in Port Huron, which actually we can leave blank because I think they pretty much all are. And I'm looking for something that's midday until 4 p.m. And so you could search that way. And it will bring up everything that's out there at that time. So you could really kind of narrow things down a little bit more, or you can kind of just scroll through all of your options, which would be a lot. And it will bring you to several pages. So you can kind of see all of the stuff that's out there. Another way to search that is that once all that comes up, then you can kind of go by subject of like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to do math or nursing or biology. I'm looking for something kind of maybe intro business or something like that. So you can be a little bit more flexible and then narrow it down from there. Okay, so those are your options of kind of how to search. And let's see, I'll show you a couple of other tools. Okay, so we're back to kind of the overview under the student planning, and just kind of looking at how to search for what classes that you want to take and how to know where you stand with your degree requirements. So another thing I want to show you is that under my progress we were working with some degrees, but I pointed out that you could see where you stand with the MTA, the Michigan Transfer Agreement. So that is actually listed as a degree option. And that can be a good kind of framework in planning your classes. So the Michigan Transfer Agreement, again, it's that agreement where public schools and privates in Michigan have said that if you complete that stuff, they will knock off your general education requirements. We've talked about it quite a few times, but this is so Mrs. Barr was pretty good on the communications, social science, humanities, which that is that whole list of like English 101 and 102. Social science was the same as your college degree, pretty much, the SC4 degree. And again, she's not there yet with the science, so she needs to finish that. And it shows you all of the options that would work. So this is another way that you could say like, okay, I'll search, I'll just click on that and see when that is available. And I think also she's done with her math, but that shows you all of the options there as well. And so then anything that didn't count towards MTA are all listed here, and that's pretty much like every other class except for that stuff. So that's another way to see kind of where you stand with that. And again, all of these documents are available online. You can come in and we can help you with it. And I would say definitely access the Blue Water Middle College page for all of this stuff as well. But the last thing I want to show you is that when you are at your My Progress, so for Mrs. Barr, she's just got general education there, and it's actually like an old degree, so it's not showing anything. But for some of you, it might say arts or science or criminal justice, law enforcement, and maybe that's not what you want to be pursuing. You want to change your program of study. If you remember in the past, the WAVE made you update your program of study every semester. Well, now this is completely the opposite, where you're not able to change your program of study in this website without first talking to an SE4 advisor. So if your degree does not reflect what you want to be working on right now, You can still use that program where you can see kind of where you stand with the degree that you actually want. And so you could check that out that way. But to actually officially change it, you need to see an SE4 advisor. And again, we encourage you to do that once a year as it is. So the way that you would set that appointment is by going back to the portal. Let's see if they'll let me do that. So on the main page of the portal, and I'll just show you from my portal. So if I were, let's see, I need to change this to be listed as a student. So from your view in the portal, if you scroll down here, there's some shortcuts to kind of common things that people would need. If you don't already get the SE4 alerts for snow days, which didn't quite do anything for us this year, that's where that is. The peer for registering to retake the AccuPlacer. The library has some links on tutoring and all that stuff. Class cancellations are here. Hopefully you know all this stuff already. But to make an advising appointment is where you would find that. And so you just enter your information here, and then it walks you through how to do that. So that is the whole piece about the Service Center, how to use it for planning, and there's going to be one more, hopefully a smaller, shorter video that will show you how to actually complete the registration once that opens on April 9th. So tune in for part 3.